The Cinderella Complex, Astrological Guide to Love, created, directed, and presented by Rev Dr Mullen. In this video, Dr. Mullen will reflect on the Cinderella Complex and all of the important ideas around the myth and associate them with astrological aspects in terms of finding love in one's life.
This is astrologer Dr. Mullen in Orlando, Florida, with some thoughts to share about you with your horoscope, astrology, and the Cinderella Complex, a love guide looking through the glass slipper. Love is one of the most popular topics as a professional astrologer that I address with my friends and colleagues and clients. It's one of the most familiar and beloved of storylines if we look at it through the lens of Cinderella. There's a single lady or a gentleman who's overwhelmed by carrying life's baggage all alone. Then she, or maybe he, is rescued by a prince, or maybe a princess charming. And probably there's Dom Perignon champagne. The arrival on the white horse might be replaced by a Jaguar or Aston Martin in the driveway. And the wicked stepmother, well, she's become the 9-to-5 drudgery of an exhausting, meaningless job. The basic fantasy stays the same, though. The romance novel, in all of its best-selling different forms, has become the modern-day fairy tale for everybody who feels like Cinderella and wants a way out. Endless days of just trying to survive leaves us feeling too exhausted or broke to waltz away into a bright world of joy, dreams, fun, and luxury all alone. Hope is held out that the reality from the dragons of the misery of daily life will come to get us anyway. Some years ago, pop psychologist Colette Dowling coined the term the Cinderella Complex to describe how many people are unable to form healthy relationships because they're seeking someone to rescue them from the different problems and dragons and to fulfill or meet all of their needs. Such dependency carries a terribly high price, though. Even if the partner appears to be a rescuer in the initial stages of the relationship. If the rescuer becomes ill or loses interest in the relationship, then the Cinderella, be he male or female, or she male or female, has invested years of life in trying to maintain this fantasy. The loss can be beyond devastating. Males can likewise be afflicted, again, looking for the perfect life companion, maybe even a mother figure to take care of them. Boredom, career frustration, the specter of passing time and old age can torment people of both genders and all ages into retreating from life. What can we do about it? Well, astrology, your birth chart, provides a key to finding strength and protection from within, which in turn assures the formation of a really healthy, nurturing relationship with the right partner. Yes, a marriage or alternative commitment is an important part of a full life, but it can't be the entire reason for living in today's world for most of us. Keeping identity, not losing the you within you intact, is essential. Astrologically speaking, a serious case of the Cinderella complex can develop when the moon is in a hard angle to the planet Venus and Mercury or Neptune. A lack of strong aspects to the sun, an unaspected sun, ascendant or first house ruler, can intensify this problem. An afflicted moon in the natal chart can represent vulnerability and emotional stability. Venus is the emotional expression of love. Mercury is the mental attitude toward life. Neptune, if afflicted, can reveal unhealthy obsessions. Mars describes the expression of passion, physical desire, a retrograde or weakly placed Mars can show passive or overly reserved tendencies, symptom of the Cinderella Complex. The 7th house of the birth chart is the key to what type of relationship will be best. It's possible to look at a solar chart just by knowing the familiar birth sign we all know and understand the solar 7th house. That's simply the sign right across in your natal chart. These indicators show the path to follow in rescuing ourselves. Remember, we can't wait for anyone to rescue us and overcome the Cinderella complex. Most of us have this wish at some point in our lives that someone else will just take over and help us. Here are some astrological tips to tuck away your own secret Cinderella safely within the castle and break the glass slipper forever. Begin with the suggestions I'm going to make with your familiar birth sign or sun sign, and then if you know the rising sign in your horoscope, go to that one too. Let's look at Aries. Libra and Venus are the relationship indicators for Aries. This tells you to develop public relations skills and not let partnerships become competitive. Avoid power struggles, develop artistic skills, get involved in cultural events in the community. Think of teamwork, togetherness. That will bring you your happiness. Taurus, your opposing sign is Scorpio, so we have Mars and Pluto guiding your relationship roles. An energetic, stimulating person is what you need for your happiness. Seek the one who makes you feel enthused, who helps you overcome that Taurian tendency to procrastinate. Avoid anyone who's overly jealous or possessive. Those twin demons can be your block toward a healthy relationship. Focus on a spiritual detachment, allowing a little more individual freedom to pave the way for that special person to enter your life in a positive way. How about Gemini? Think of Sagittarius and Jupiter as the sign and ruling planet across from you, someone who has ethical and philosophical values you admire, pursuing travel, higher education, connections to your place of worship can put you in touch with a compatible partner. Avoid anyone who makes promises and then doesn't deliver. Look out for gamblers or those with grandiose schemes that are too risky, and eventually you'll find your own special happy situation. Cancer. Your relationship indicators, the opposing sign, come in with Saturn and Capricorn. Patience is essential. The axiom, marry in haste, repent at leisure, could have been written for you. Look for someone who has an interest in your future and welfare and whose business interests you can share. Be cautious that the potential beloved is overly critical, though, or withholds affection as a means of controlling the relationship. Your natural moonchild reserve can make you uncomfortable with crowds or overly extroverted people. An age gap can work in your favor. The December-May or May-December romance is distinctly Cancerian. Leo, Aquarius, with the ruling planets Uranus and Saturn, are your relationship indicator guides. In partnerships, you like to retain a dramatic freedom of spirit. A partner involved in politics, human rights issues, or other projects which accent the universal good can help you to break away from the glass slipper and find an acceptable, healthy relationship that facilitates growth and change and yet honors your individual feelings. Virgo. Virgo, the sign of the Virgin, often does remain single or single longer than the other signs. To facilitate a happy relationship, you want to think about Pisces, your opposite sign, ruled by Neptune and co-ruled by Jupiter. Look for a whimsical, imaginary person and imaginative type who can relieve your natural tendency toward anxiety or to be super organized. Medicine, the fine arts, and educational fields are worthwhile interest to share. A positive element coming into the best Virgo relationship is a psychic rapport. Remember, Pisces is ruled by Neptune as your opposer. Look for someone with whom outspoken communication is easy and natural. And this could be the right one for you, revealed by a remembered dream upon awakening. You might dream of or share a dream. I've seen this a lot in Virgo-Pisces relationships that are the right one. Libra, your potential with the right person and reflects back to Mars and Aries, your opposite sign. Peace in relationships comes through developing assertiveness, staying active physically, a positive attitude toward competition, and dealing with athletes, the military, working with the general public, and any projects that are innovative and rather pioneering can bring a healthy, wholesome relationship your way. Scorpio, we reflect back to Taurus and Venus for your ideal relationship. Seek someone who feels the same way, for heaven's sakes, the way you do about money management. Very critical with Taurus Scorpio partners. Sharing investments as well as a desire to spend money in the best way can build a true spiritual unity. Musical or artistic interests can bind you together, and an interest in studying banking, numbers, and accounting. You dislike being alone, so you'll be happiest with someone who is happy to keep detachment and other relationships at a distance. So you want something deeply intense to avoid a romance becoming a disappointing fiasco. Sagittarius, Mercury and Gemini reflecting back are your relationship indicators. Binding commitments with those who have a sameness can make you feel stifled. Except that everyone can be a little boring sometimes, but otherwise the grass is greener syndrome can pose a serious stumbling block. Versatile and intelligent people who always change are your best choices. Seek someone maybe who's multilingual, who's involved in the travel or communications industry, or who was born in another country. A lot of Sagittarians find happiness with an international tie. Mental rapport, greeting cards, messages, email can play a key role in developing a worthwhile relationship. Capricorn, you reflect back to the moon and Cancer for your strongest relationship bonds. It's essential not to let those you care about become overly dependent on you for emotional support. Extended family concept, incorporating your relatives into the family of your beloved, can be a part of an important relationship. Seek a partner whose heritage and home life appeal to you or are the same. Similar tastes in cooking meals together, decorating, as well as real estate deals can form a commitment. You can enjoy history, collectibles, other memorabilia as a part of your relationship interests. Aquarius, we're back with the Sun and Leo as your partnership. Look for a warm-hearted person who encourages that perpetual inner child in your nature. Forever young at heart, the spirit of leadership and community involved are factors to seek. Image, dignity, and also being careful not to overshadow your partner with your own projects and goals. Very important. Share that limelight and all will go well. Pisces, we're looking at Mercury and Virgo as your relationship indicators. You'll enjoy a precise, efficient person who can keep you organized because you tend to be a little spacey. A practical touch helps the relationship. Overall, a tendency to expect too much perfection isn't good. Enjoying health, diet, fitness, finding someone that you can grow with and adjust to. The exchange of constructive suggestions with the Pisces will help the right relationship to grow. Looking at some deeper insights into a relationship, for serious students of astrology. Deeper insights toward breaking the Cinderella glass slipper and having healthy dynamics involve looking at the planet ruling the 7th house, the natural partnership. Analyze the degrees and aspects of 7th-house planets to the ruler of the 1st house or ascendant to determine the potential of whether there's a good relationship and how to find it. If the 1st and the 7th house rulers are conjunct, less than 10 degrees apart, this promises unity, a natural flair for partnerships. A square or opposition can bring a sparkle of excitement, but bonds can be turbulent. In a negative situation, this can escalate into physical or verbal abuse. So the 1st and the 7th house rulers can show a vulnerability naturally if they're square or opposed. The trine or sextile aspects show natural harmony. 1st and 7th house rulers in the natal chart that are trine or sextile show the potential of developing a smooth, loving, lifelong relationship. When there's no major aspect between the 1st and the 7th house rulers, you're looking at a lone wolf person. That might be someone who maintains a spirit of profound individuality and just doesn't seem to bond at all. Accepting that is very important in understanding whether or not the glass slipper can be shattered. This is Dickie Jo Mullen. I hope you've enjoyed this astrological look at the Cinderella Complex. There's more information about relationships, when to find a proper time to marry, and other apropos articles on my website, Sky Maiden Musings, and also on Facebook. There are regular daily astrology postings.